Here are guidelines for 4 fume hood positions that will help you effectively control welding fumes. The fume hood position. How to control fumes by controlling the fume hood position. A ventilation hood works by efficiently moving air into it, and in the process capturing the fumes being generated by the arc. Any potentially hazardous fumes are drawn away from the welder, creating a safer work environment. To control fumes at the arc, it is necessary to have adequate capture velocity, and to do that, it's important that the fume hood be positioned properly. Since the capture distance from arc to hood varies as a welder lays down a bead, the ability to reposition the fume hood easily is important to maintain control. Try to position the fume hood so it only needs to be moved between changes in consumable or body position. The welder position. The first rule is to keep your head out of the plume. The best welder position is a cross draft, where the welder is at a 90-degree angle to the inflowing ventilation air. The next best is a 45-degree angle. Avoid positioning the welder, the arc, and hood in a direct line. Above the weld. Grab the handle on the fume hood and pull it into position. Then orient the face of the fume hood so it is 12 to 16 inches above the welding surface, parallel to the weldment, and slightly offset from the bead line. Pick up the stinger and take the proper body position. The fumes will rise directly into the fume hood. Make sure no exterior airflow is interfering with the fume flow. Beginning of the weld. Grab the handle on the fume hood and pull it into position. As you pull it into position, rotate the handle away from you. Then cock the face of the fume hood at a 90-degree angle to the horizontal surface, a few inches above and from the beginning or end of the weld to be laid. For SMAW on a horizontal flat weld, you drag away from the hood. For GMAW and gas-shielded FCAW, position the gun so that the shielding gas is blowing toward the fume hood as you push toward it. The horizontal weldment helps channel the plume into the fume hood and protect it from interfering airflow. Beside the weld. This position may allow you to lay down 2 rods or a comparable GMAW weld before repositioning the fume hood. Grab the handle on the fume hood and pull it into position, then rotate the hood until the handle is away from you. Position the fume hood at the midpoint of the weld. Cock the face of the fume hood so it is at a right angle to the weldment. The hood should be 4 to 6 inches behind the line of bead travel and 4 to 6 inches above the weldment surface. Pick up the stinger and take the proper body position. If you're trying to lay down 2 rods before moving the fume hood, make sure you have adequate control at the beginning and end of the distance covered. Directly over the vertical weld. Grab the handle on the fume hood and pull it into position. Then properly orient the face of the fume hood so it is 12 to 16 inches above the weld, perpendicular to the vertical weld travel. Pick up the stinger and take the proper body position. The fumes will rise directly into the fume hood. The vertical weldment helps channel the plume into the fume hood and protect it from interfering airflow. Conclusion. Using an LEV allows you to position the hood to reduce the welder's potential exposure to hazardous substances. For each new application, utilize a fellow welder to visually observe the welding fume behavior with the fume hood in place and perform personal air sampling to demonstrate the adequacy of control. There are a lot of ways to ventilate fume exhaust. Local exhaust ventilation and source control with a fume hood is one way.